Hello and welcome to Just Like Me. I am here with Fiona, who probably doesn't need much of an introduction. Many of you will know her from her posts on the membership site. And I'm really happy to be with you here today, Fiona. And I'm really glad that you have agreed to take this time with us. So welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for asking me. Sorry.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to Namaste Yoga and how you found your way into our membership community?
Okay. December 2013, Christmas Day, my mum had bought me a Samsung tablet and I was looking for Tibetan bells. And on YouTube I came across Yoga Yak, and just like on one side there was a class that restorative yoga, and um and I thought, what's restorative yoga? So I think I like bookmarked it or something, and the next day I went back and looked at it, and yeah, that was how I found you. That was Namaste 171, the restorative class, um, and I just kept doing that class for a few months. A few of the other classes on there and stuff, and I kept looking at your membership site and the what was included, and I was like coming and ahhing for about 3 months, and then I just took the plunge and joined, and yeah, that's that.
Yeah, so you've been a member for a while now,
Just a year and 2 months.
a year and two
Yeah,
months. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and you've been a very active member of our community, and it's been great to have you for the last year.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm surprised how active I've managed to be. Because funnily enough, I was remembering, I think I must have, it was the time I joined the membership at the time that you was doing the recuperation series.
Hmm.
And I remembered emailing you and about it or something, and I was like anticipating doing all my yoga in my bed. So, because I've got health issues, so I'm kind of bed bound, house bound sometimes, a lot of the time. And yeah, and it's just funny when I listen to the recuperation series, sometimes you like mention in the videos about like you could do this pose in your bed or something, and it's just like, oh wow, yeah, that was, yeah, I didn't know. I remember that, like asking would I be able to do this in the yoga classes in the bed and stuff like that. And but I don't think I really do yoga on my bed. I can manage to do it on the floor. So that's like, wow. So I was surprised myself at how much I can.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's been coming up a lot in the Inner Critic series that, people tell themselves these things. I think actually it's been coming up a lot since the Is That True class, Say,
Yeah,
oh, I couldn't do yoga on the floor. I could only do it in the bed, and then people are starting to question these things that they're telling themselves. Well, is that true? And then starting to just check out those self-imposed limitations and finding out that, sometimes maybe they were true at one time, and then
yeah,
and then quite possibly at a later time they're not true. And it's not that they won't be true again. It's just that they might not be true right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually easier to do my yoga on the floor than on the bed.
Yeah. I mean, there is a time for yoga in the bed, but it's a little tricky. It can be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you have some health challenges, and I know that yoga has these amazing transformative qualities. Do you want to speak to the way that yoga has intersected with these health challenges that you experience?
Um, yeah. I can't. I can't really describe how yoga helps. It just helps. It gets me through the day. I guess so on some levels it must. I have ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, along with some other health conditions. Um, because of that, I have quite a weak body. I've lost a lot of muscles in my legs and my arms. There's a lot of muscle wastage and stuff because I've been ill for lots of years. Um, and so I guess the yoga slowly is bringing my body back to life. Just sometimes there's some complications and it's working out what's going on and having to fit the yoga around it, I guess. Yeah.
Well, one thing I know that you do is you track your practice and you track what works well. You want to
Yeah.
speak a little bit to that in terms of your recovery, the way you've tracked your
Well, how I tracked it to start with was I noticed when I first found the restorative class, um, I must have been writing it down. I have like a chart on the wall and I used to write down what time I went to bed and what time I got up and everything and how many times I woke up in the night. And all of a sudden I just realised that since I started doing the restorative class, that I wasn't waking up as much.
Hmm.
And then eventually it became that like I was going for nights on end where I wasn't waking up at all, and I was like, that has never happened.
Wow.
Like, if it happened, it might have happened in my 20s, but it's so long ago, I have no recollection of ever going through a night and not waking up. And because of my other health issues and stuff, I would always get up and have to go to the toilet. And this last year or so, there's been like huge periods of times where that just doesn't happen anymore and I just sleep through. And so that was kind of why I think I started tracking the yoga to see what impact it had on that. So
So you were
I don't know
first
if that's
just
too much
tracking.
information.
No, no,
Talking about my
you were
toilet
just
habit.
no, and that's what I wanted you to speak about was that your chart on the wall and that you were tracking that the first thing you noticed was that you were sleeping through the night and I'm a big fan of tracking because our mind is not so good at remembering, especially the positive things. Our mind is actually um, just our mind is I'm not finding my words right now, but it's actually not trained is not the right word, but it's actually
Oh, it focuses more on
on
the
the negative.
negative than the
Yeah,
positive.
it
Yeah.
does. It's just that's the way your brain is. And so one great thing about tracking is that you can see what's gone, when you go back, you can see what's gone well in the month. And also when we did our motivation meetup this month, one thing that I also modeled for people was that it can also give a really good indication of what's not working because sometimes I think we think that everything is working in yoga. And so maybe a particular practice for you isn't working, like I know
Yeah.
go ahead. Is there something
And I
different?
was going to say, I noticed, because I was doing the yoga nidra every afternoon, and I've been doing that since, because I got ill again this year, sort of thing, on some other health issues. So lots of health issues. I started doing the yoga nidra because it was the only thing that I could manage to do, and then I I don't know what's been going on with me recently this last month, and then I suddenly sort of, when you was like talking about doing a review to see what's worked and what's not, and I thought, well, I'm just really stuck at the moment, and I just thought, I wonder if it's because I'm doing the yoga nidra, so I've swapped it for restorative yoga, and the last 3 days I'm managing to get through a day without, it's just so much better.
It's working better for you.
Yeah, and it's so weird because you think it's something that I thought, yoga nidra, it sounds ideal, rest in the afternoon, because I have to have lots of rest breaks during the day.
Yeah.
And so I thought that'd be brilliant, but I'm not altogether sure that it's working for me. So,
Yeah.
um, I've just swapped it for, I've gone back to the restorative class just to see if it makes a difference.
Yeah, so there's something for you about the shapes, like about you moving your body, taking those restorative shapes
Yeah.
and not just lying there.
I think it's like because you're slowly stretching your body out in one position and just holding it, rather than with a yoga nidra, you're just lying in shavasana sort of
Yeah.
thing on your back. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is really the power of recording things and tracking things, is that it becomes very clear, especially when you go back and do that process of review, which is something we're doing for as a community now too, and we're helping each other do that with our monthly motivation meetups. We're putting aside that time every month now for people to be able to go back, review their journals, see what's working, see what isn't working, and the tracking is just so powerful. And you're one of the key members that really help to motivate us to see what's working and what isn't working.
Yeah. Cool.
With your chart. Yeah, your chart is
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really weird because I've now got my yoga journal, and from writing in that, I realised like you said, you forget things,
You do.
and like with writing it down, you think, oh, I'll remember what
You think
works and
you
what
will.
doesn't, and you
You
don't.
don't.
And the yoga journals have really opened that up for
Yep.
me. And but the thing is, I've still got my chart, and it's like half the information that's on my chart is in my yoga journal, and it's like I can't bring myself to get rid of the chart, but I kind of really don't need it anymore.
Well, I think there's something really powerful about having it right in front of you too.
Yeah, because the chart's on the wall. It's
Yeah.
on the wall right in front of me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
So,
there's parts of it like Leonie Dawson and hers. She has, let me see. Like she has the book where you track things, but then there's a,
I can't see you, Melissa. You're just frozen.
no, my internet is slow. Okay, I'll show it after when I unfreeze. There's, anyway, I'll show it after when I unfreeze. There's a chart. Anyway, there's a book component where you chart in a journal, and then there's a chart that goes on the wall too. So I think it's powerful to have both pieces.
Yeah. Maybe I have to keep writing things twice.
Yeah, I know there's something about not writing things twice, like that's not supposed to be good, but I think there's power in having something in front of you where you can see it too.
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't want to get rid of the chart because because I try to go to bed at a certain time and get up at a certain time, and if I write it on the chart, it keeps me on track. Whereas
Yeah.
it's kind of been a bit of accountable, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
And and if I don't write it down, then I find that I slip into bad habits again, and it doesn't help me. So
Yeah, there's something about having it in front of you, I think. So definitely. Okay, my internet is slow. I apologize.
I'm just staring at your beautiful face.
Which is frozen.
Frozen.
I hope I had a nice look on my face when I froze. So
Intense is the word.
intense, yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Okay. I should try and have a smile all the time in case I should ever freeze. Okay, so let's look at some of your favorite places to be on the membership site, and hopefully my internet will be fast enough to let me show our membership site right now.
Well, the place that I always go to every single day, I think, is I realised you've only just found out about this. I think, was it from Janet? Was the What's New?
Yeah, I didn't even
bit.
know about this. How did I not know about this? I don't know.
Actually, me and Hannah were speaking at the weekend, and when we were like, that watch, she's like, do you do the watch new bit? And I'm like, yeah. And we were like, Melissa didn't know about it.
I think I do it. Well, see, I do it through
You did it
here.
a different
Yeah,
way.
just click
Yeah.
links, today's post. I think it's kind of the same thing in a different way. See, it's the
Yeah.
same post a different way, kind of. Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah, but then we didn't, I didn't know your way, so yeah.
And I learned a completely new thing this weekend in the monthly meetup too.
Oh, was it the,
How to make a blog post from a
yeah,
post.
yeah, I was just like, wow.
That blew my mind.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I wrote that one down.
I think we're gonna have lots more blog posts now.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go there right now. Let's see if we're getting more blog posts already because of that. Yeah, Paige made one after that. She was the one that showed us how to do that. So, okay, so yeah, you like this part. So tell us why you like this part.
Well, because you can just zoom down quite quickly and see what's going on, and like then if you just go into like the sort of the last one but you remember looking at, or don't the latest one, a lot of the thing I look at the happiest moment of the day and today's practice. So from there, that what's new, it's quite an easy way to get into there, and then you can just read everybody's latest posts in
Yeah.
those two places.
Yeah, so happiest moment of the day right here. I posted one yesterday. Oh my God, this was hilarious. We were pulled up at a red light, and all we could hear were these children giggling in the back seat in the car beside us. So Tim and I both lean, this could have been in a movie. We both lean over and look at the guy in the car beside us, and he looks over at us, and we all smile. And then he raises his can of soda. The kids are giggling our heads off, and then we all start laughing because the kids are laughing so hard. So we give him the thumbs up. He smiles. We all smile, and then we pull away from the light when the light changes. It was like the best moment.
And you have no idea what they were laughing at.
Nope.
Cool.
The kids were just giggling outrageously.
Oh, maybe they were just happy.
So funny. Okay, so and then from there you also find the today's
Today's practice.
practice. Let's see
Yeah,
if let me see if anybody.
I think
Yeah,
they're
from
the
there
ones
it is.
I look at them the most because for me reading is quite hard because of my cognitive function and everything. So they, photos get posted in there, and um, the paragraphs are too long for me to read compared to other places where it's a bit more intense on the site.
Yeah, these tend to be short posts. People just come
Yeah,
in and say, "This is what I did today," and that they don't tend to be too. People don't go too deep into their mental and emotional processing in this section generally. Yeah. Did you lose me, Fiona?
yeah. You're
Oh,
still just frozen.
okay. That's okay. Everybody else is just looking at the site right now anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Okay.
We hope.
Yeah, yeah, me. So today's practice, are there, where else are we on to favorite videos now?
My favourite classes, the Pranamaya Kosha from the Kosha series.
Okay, so that's in the short video section. So here, short videos. And then you scroll down, let's see, sort of towards the bottom, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us what you like about this kosha video.
Well, I love Kundalini Yoga, and I came across Kundalini Yoga, I don't know, by accident a while ago, before I joined your membership, I think. But the video that I had was, it's just too much for me. It's too much in one go. It like But I realised that it also woke me up, woke my body up, woke my mind up.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't do it for such a long period. So when I came across the Pranamaya Kosha one on your membership site, I was just like, oh, brilliant. And it's just like, I think you do each position or hold or whatever you call it for about a minute at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and what I do is I just go really, really slowly. I just can't go as fast.
Mm.
So, but benefits that I've had from that class, like so many times over the last year, has it woken me up. And it's just, yeah, that's what I love about yoga. I just find it so
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like, but when you can feel that energy
Yeah.
coming back up, it's like going, working its way up the spine and the body, and
Yeah.
yeah,
This is the spinal energy series, isn't it? This one.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
I hope
So
I've got
for
the right class.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for those people that want the spinal energy series, the Kundalini spinal energy series, it's the Pranamaya Kosha class, and it is a great class for gathering up your energy. It's a nice one for, I think it's great in any time, any season for different reasons. I think, in the summer, it's nice to kind of connect with that energy of summer, the kind of fullness of the energy of summer. And then in the fall, it's great to work with that transformative energy of fall. And then in the winter, when you're really kind of having the doldrums, it's great to get that energy going again. And in the spring, it's great to keep that detoxification energy going, especially with when the liver energy is so strong and it can be such a frustrating time of year. So it's a great series to work with any time of year just to keep your energy flowing, I think. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do it just as a warm-up. So it's a good one. That would be a good one to do in the morning. And I think if you probably fast forwarded past the little bit in the beginning, you could probably get that practice down to about 25 minutes. Like it says
Yeah,
it's
it's like
35 minutes class.
I know it so well now that I don't even I went through a period of maybe about a month of trying it every single day to see what difference it made to me, and that really helped. But unfortunately, I've not been great, so that that stopped. But I'd like to get back on with that, and so it's like, yeah. So what I've learned from the video, I can manage to do myself now.
Yeah, you probably could manage to do this yourself if you timed each one. Like the other
Yeah.
thing I'll do when I do it on my own this series, I'll count each one, each movement 108 times.
Oh, wow. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of significance to 108. It's like a very spiritual number, and I would have to look it up and tell you. I think I have a whole blog post on it. I'll link to it in your show notes
Yeah.
for this episode. You
Yeah,
know,
I
go ahead.
remember, was it you and Alice, I think, were talking about numbers at some point. There
Could
was
it
a
be?
thread.
Yeah, I'll link to my blog post on the significance of 108. But there's 108 beads on a mala, and there's tons of significance around that number. And when you do it 108 times, I think it sort of works out that it kind of works out to around 3 minutes for each one too.
Right.
And then it works out to around a 20, 25-minute practice, which is nice for a weekday once you kind of learn all the moves.
Mine's kind of shorter than that. I did a minute.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing you can do is you can break that 108 down, right? You can break it down to 54 or 27, which I've done too.
Right.
Yeah, you
I'm
just
gonna try
divide it.
that.
Yeah, you just divide it. So whatever you can manage. So do 27 slow.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that would work great for you.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that is a great video, and that's a real standard, total standard in the yoga world. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Cool. Um, could we just take a little?
Yeah, you ready for a break? I was just about to
Yeah.
ask you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go have a. Actually, let's just. Do you want to actually turn right off here and reconnect. That might help my internet too.
Okay, all right then.
I'll get
Um,
Tim to
oh,
test my internet and everything.
all right. I'll call back in 5 minutes.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so yes, a great practice for a great standard practice in yoga, and I found my blog post too. And it wasn't a post on the number 108. It was a post on mala beads with the significance of 108 in it. And there's a lot more on this, but some of the things that I put in this post, that there are 108 energy lines that converge to form your heart center, heart chakra. There are 108 Upanishads. And this one really got me. It said that if you were able to be so calm in meditation, you would have only 108 breaths in a day, and then you would be enlightened.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen to me.
I think you'd have to be pretty into your meditation to only have 108 breaths a day.
Yeah.
So
108 a minute. I could do that.
108 a minute. Yeah, maybe with your, I don't know, with your Kapalabhatis for sure.
Yeah. You've frozen again, Melissa.
Did
Did
I?
you want me to try? Yeah. Did you want me to try and go into the other room to see if it makes a difference, or should we just carry on?
Um, we can carry on. We're going to be on the membership site now. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so were there some other videos you wanted to show people or some other spots?
The insomnia evening class as
Mhm.
well.
So this is in the long video section. This is a great series. So if I click on the long videos,
No, isn't it? It's in the short one. It's the ins.
Yoga for
It's in the
Insomnia.
yeah, isn't it? Sorry, because
Oh,
I can't see your screen. It's yeah, I'm sure it's in the insomnia series. Isn't that in the short? It's a longer class, but I'm sure it's in the short.
oh, you're right. Yeah, because it's a series. You're right, you're right.
Yeah, it
It
is a
is the
long
long
class,
class. Yeah.
but yeah.
A bit of false advertising
But
there.
if you do what I do,
What do you
I
do?
split,
Break it up?
I split it into the three sections, and that's why I love that class because it just so naturally splits into three for me.
Okay, tell us how you split it into three because I think people would be interested in that.
Well, the first part is all base legs up the wall.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How long
then
does that take?
that's probably about 20 minutes. Um, they all split down into sort of 15, 20 minutes, give or take. Because
Nice.
I think it's not quite an hour, the class, I can't remember. But
Yeah, it's just about an hour, yeah.
yeah. So they must split into 20 minutes each, something like that. So the legs up the wall, and then it's like a more seated practice where you're doing twists and are they forward folds and stuff like that. And then the last bit is a yoga nidra.
Yeah, so that does split up quite well then, the way you do it, because you can do the legs up the wall, intro, postures, and a yoga nidra. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing this more moving forward for videos that I'm putting out, is dividing them up rather than chunking them all together. So when I do the FAQ for the postures and pranayam about the rollers and the balls and all of that, in,
Yeah.
instead of answering all the questions together, I'm going to do like a 2-minute video about the roller. And then I'm going to do a 2-minute video about hydration. And then I'm going to do a 2-minute video about detoxification. And then I'm going to do a 2-minute video about fascia, instead of answering
Yeah.
all the questions together.
In one. Yeah, that sounds really good.
I think so. I think it's the
Yeah.
way people want to receive their content. because you might not be interested in all aspects. You know, you might be good. You might have a soft foam roller and you're like, yeah, I'm good with that. I don't need that information, right?
Yeah. Or you might just have 2 minutes to spare, but not got 20 minutes to spare to listen
Exactly.
to the whole thing. So you're more
Yeah,
likely to listen to a
e-
bit that stands out for you. So
exactly. So that's what I'm thinking too. And also moving forward with the postures and pranayam section, like I think I could divide it up to where, you know, we just give the benefits and contraindications at the beginning. That could be a short video. And then we can do a video with the props. And then, you know, we can do like a Shavasana video for each one. And then, you know, Molly and I are going to be doing an extra, another bit too, where, you know, your time on the mat is only, you know, for most people at most an hour of your day. And then there are 23 hours of your day outside off your mat where what you do in your body matters almost more than what you do on your mat, right? And we want to
yeah,
start addressing that time.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's I'm working on it, Melissa. I'm working on it.
no, that's not meant to make you feel bad. It's meant to give you
Oh no, no.
it's
I
meant to give you
completely
tips. It's meant to
yeah,
give you tips for like, okay, so when you're in the kitchen, what can you be doing so that you're not making your so that when you get on your mat, you have less work to do. That's what I'm saying.
oh no, no. I know
Or
what you're saying.
yeah. So when you're at the if you're at the office for 8 hours a day, like that's what makes your time on the mat so challenging, right? So it's hard to offload 23 hours what you're doing for all those 23 hours in 1 hour. So if we can kind of spread that out over the other 23 hours a bit more, I
Yeah.
think it's going to improve the quality of your life immensely. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about moving forward is trying to make the content more manageable for you guys.
No, this sounds good.
I think it'll really help. So it takes me a while to kind of think about how to do that.
Yeah, but it's a process, isn't it?
It is a huge process.
You know, you start something new and then all of a sudden you think, oh, I could do it slightly different or something,
Yeah.
and then it just clicks into place a bit better or something.
And what really helps is the way you guys ask your questions, it becomes more and more clear to me how I need to deliver the content differently. And
Mm,
also when you give your feedback, becomes clear to me how you're using the content. Like just that to me, the way you described how you were using that content, that makes it clear to me how the content is getting used. And then it gives me cues to how I can deliver the content in a way that's more usable too.
yeah,
So all the feedback that I get from all of you, it's continually coming into me in a way that's so useful to me to be able to turn around and deliver more content to you in a way that's more usable too. So this dialogue that we have all the time going on in the interviews, in the monthly motivational meetups, in all the posts that you guys put on the forum, they just help immensely for us to be continually able to innovate new ways to give you content that's more usable for you, which is great.
good.
So that really helped me to see the way you're
Yeah,
breaking it down, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking about things now too. So it was good confirmation for me.
yeah, good.
Okay, cool.
That could help.
And I think that helps other people thinking about, okay, when I come to a video, I don't just have to do the whole thing. I can break it up too.
Yeah, I
Good
do
tip.
that a lot because I think that was one of the very things I posted about. I think when I joined the membership site, it took me a while to get into posting things because typing and stuff's quite hard for me. Um, but it was like I would take a class, maybe like one of the longer classes, like off the top of my head, the grounding, the depression or the anxiety, something like that. And because it's so long, it's just too much for me, and I would
Mhm.
split those classes into like 20 minutes or try and find like if there was a part of it that was standing, once the standing bit had finished, um, I wouldn't do any more for that day, and then I'd come back the next day or something and carry on where I left off. And that's kind of what I do with the longer classes is I have to split them into like 15, 20 minutes a lot of the time.
That's fabulous. I love that. I think that's a great tip, and I hope other people take you up on that and start to do that for themselves as well. That's actually something that, maybe I'll do that in the next meetup for motivation. It's something that I had wanted to do actually, was do a whole kind of webinar on that, on how to break up longer videos for the members.
Because I think, I'm just trying to think, but it's like the digestion class. I think there's like a bit in there, and then it comes to like, it's a funny one that you do where you're walking, but you're holding your
Yeah,
ankles.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I think that after that bit, there's like it kind of, you could have a pause there. So I think, because I have digestive issues, I've used that class so much. So
Yeah, just show
but
them.
um, it, a lot in that class is quite too much for me. But like, you can pause it after there, and you could maybe do the other bit, and then I think there's some like mudras and stuff towards the end. So yeah, I split a lot of the bigger classes up like that.
Yeah, split them up. And also what I'm hearing in that too that I really like is skip over bits that don't work for you.
Yeah. Or I try and adapt them. I think like tree pose, I tend to do a lot of the time just lying on the floor.
Yes. Love
So
that.
it's,
Lying on the
for me,
floor.
that turns into a restorative pose.
Yeah, I love that. I had an image of you too, like I love tree pose, lying on the floor, and you could even lie on the floor with your back against the wall, so you've got double support, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you've got your back, yeah, back against the wall with the leg up is supported against the wall too, and then your arms, so you're leaning against the wall. Then you got really nice alignment cue there as well. Yeah.
see, two things I've learned today.
Yeah. I just did off the wall this
I don't
on
think
my
I've.
day of silence. I did that on my day of silence. So brilliant. It got me so excited about doing wall poses again. So I when you said on the ground, so the wall becomes like a vertical ground. It
Yeah,
can be a double support.
I don't think I've done that class. I've
So
done a class but I think it might be in the. Is it the head, shoulders, knees, toes one? Does that have a bit that's on the
that has
wall?
that was around the same time I made off the wall, and there's a lot of wall stuff on it. Yes.
Yeah. I
So
think I've done that, but I don't think I've done the off the wall, the full long class.
yeah, so let's show both of them. So in the long videos, there's off the wall. In this class, you you look at the themes of alignment, support, and resistance because the wall becomes both support and resistance for you. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating thing to explore in your life. I found it fascinating personally, coming back to that. And then if you want a shorter look at that, as Fiona is saying here, you can, around the same time, because I found practicing with the wall so fascinating, I did these short videos, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, which are great. And I just put them in the whole gardeners playlist that I put together this weekend for you too. Here they are. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. The head class has a lot of stuff with the wall, I think. Is that what you're saying? They
I
all
think
do.
so. Yeah. Because I can't see your screen. Off the top of my head, I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely at least one of the classes that is just based against the wall. You kind of set up against the wall, I think, and I think it helps with the alignment of your head,
Yeah.
and like where it's looking and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think so too. I think all of these classes, this head class is great for neck stuff. Also, there's some nice eye yoga in there. And
Yeah, I
then,
remember eye yoga. Love the eye yoga.
yeah. And then the shoulder class too is great. Knees, toes, nice foot stuff in that class that isn't in the other foot class. And then the hand and wrist class is really nice too, because of all the stuff we do with our handheld devices and things. So that's a nice class. Yeah, I really hope our recording software is picking all this up. I mean, I'm seeing it all on my screen, so I'm just
Well,
assuming it's picking it all up. I'm
I hope
seeing
so.
you, I'm seeing everything, so
That's good. Because
yeah,
my end is just
you're not seeing
me
anything.
staring at myself and you frozen. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I feel like I keep pulling you off on tangents. So,
I know it's fine.
okay, you tell me where you want to go.
Um. Oh. I think I want to say for me, it's the Namaste Nourishing Your Energy series.
Hmm.
Um, that whole series, um, just I just benefited so much from it. It's one I think they're because like the hour classes, they're I can't remember another series where I think I did most of them actually for the full hour in one go, and I can't remember any of your other series that I've managed to do that with. Um, so that obviously did something to my energy levels.
Yeah, that was
Um,
an amazing series through the winter.
so yeah, and so I'm working my way through that again at the moment now that I've got my journal and writing down things because there's so much in that series. I just you like I said, you forget it. um, but yeah, out of all of the Namaste yoga classes, that series is the one that I've gone back to again and again and again and
Nice.
again.
There's
So
a lot in there. There's a lot in there. Yeah, our culture desperately needs this
yeah,
series.
I think anything to do with crossing over the energies, I just adore. I love it. That's just my thing,
Yeah,
and that's why I like the postures and pranayam um,
yeah,
series as well. So because the
yeah,
way that you're talking about things in there as well, so the crossing over and the eye yoga and things.
yeah. So I was going to say that's definitely part of the neuroplasticity and brain yoga that we're bringing into the postures and pranayama section. Here, um, let's see. It was big in the knee to chest pose class. We brought a lot of that into there, and it's definitely something that's going to be coming up in a lot of these classes. This connect using our brain to make these really fast gains in what we're doing. So the longer I've been teaching, for me, um, I think to keep me interested in yoga, it has to be that what we're doing is going to be more efficient. You know, if we're focusing on flexibility, I want it to be intelligent flexibility. I want us to be doing things that are going to make a difference, a big difference, and that are going to make things easier in our bodies. And right now, from what I know about the research, I think accessing things through uh, the tools that I am coming across in terms of neuroplasticity, brain yoga, somatics, pendiculation, all these tools that I'm bringing in is the easiest route. So definitely check out the postures and pranayama section. That's where the biggest innovation is happening right now in terms of what I'm applying in the world of yoga. So, and you guys are the only ones that have access to that. I'm not bringing that stuff in the free stuff in Namaste Yoga. It really is just here in this section. So that's where you get
Yay!
it.
And we love it. Well, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's great stuff. It's great, great stuff. And you'll have huge gains in way less time with this stuff. So definitely, if you're not checking it out, check it out, and invest in the props. I understand that it's a bit of an investment up front, but the gains that you'll have with it are just huge. I wouldn't have asked you to make those investments if
Yeah,
if I didn't
I
feel they
think
were worthwhile.
I did the core and tell class with the roller
Hmm.
thing, and I think it was it after a couple of weeks of just doing it maybe once or twice a week. I can't quite remember. I have had this my back. I have a lot of back issues, but my back was in so much pain. Um, I think every time I did legs up the wall from the insomnia class, there was like just one spot on my spine that was so painful, and then I suddenly realised after I did the core intel class, it finally just gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, yay!
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that I'd done different was that core intel with the roller. So I'm pretty sure it was that.
Yeah. I know that core intelligence class, intelligent core class, is amazing. What it's done for me, my ability to breathe, dropping anxiety away is just incredible. The amount of flexibility I have in my spine and my ability to bend backwards now is unparalleled from any time it's been in my practice, and I've been practicing for probably nearly 20 years now. So, and I just haven't had these kind of gains in my practice at any time in the last 20 years. So, it's an incredible tool, and everybody's seeing these kind of gains from using them. So definitely check them out. Get the right one, the one that I'm recommending, because people are using cheaper versions and then upgrading to the right one, and just go for the right one first. Okay, any other classes you want to show before we move on? Because I'd like them to have a chance to hear a little bit more about your life too before we go.
No, I think I just want to say the webinars. I love the webinars. That's opened up a whole new life for me, I think.
Cool.
With being housebound and stuff, and I find it hard to socialise with my friends and things like that. So with the webinars, it's in such a controlled environment that not everybody's speaking at once, which I can't cope with. But I feel like I'm connecting with people again, and yeah, I think, yeah, just good. It's great.
Yeah. So right now, in terms of webinars, we have planned every month a monthly motivation meetup. We just had two this past weekend, and they were incredibly well attended. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer you a motivational tool each month to help you stay motivated, focused, and consistent with your yoga practice. We'll reflect back over the month for you. We encourage you to bring your yoga journals so you can look back over your month and see what happened for you for the past month. And we'll also look back as a community, what happened for us as a community on the past month. And then we'll start to set our intentions for the coming month as a community. And also we ask you to set your intentions, your personal intentions for the coming month. And it's a way for you to have a chance to have some really serious input as to what you want in the community coming forward. Like, everybody voted on what content they want for the next month. And do you want to speak maybe, Fiona, about what you took away from the meetup what were your big takeaways from this past weekend?
Colouring my journal.
Yeah, that was fun.
Colouring my journal.
Yeah.
I was just
You
like, I
got
saw
permission
my
to color.
journal, I was like, mine's just black. Ooh. Oh, hang on, screen just went, I can see you.
Yeah, I turned myself on. Yeah. Maybe grab my journal. Yeah, let me grab my journal. Hold on. Yeah, I shared my journal because we talked about journaling. So I showed how I do a lot of colors in my journal because I find it easier to find things after, right? So today's June, so I did a new, because otherwise it's hard to find the start of the month, right?
Hang on, right, if you're showing yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah. And then every day I also do a big header because I go back at the end of the week and review my week because I find it easier to review every week as well. Nice!
My June one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the dates bigger at the top.
That's so much easier to find, right?
Yes. Why didn't I think of that? So,
yeah, and then if you write your classes down with nice big headers too, colored headers, like that's what I do in here's my teaching journal right here. So, here's things that I'm working on with my teaching. there's lots. I use color throughout because otherwise it's impossible to when you're trying to find things later.
Yeah. Well,
It's
that was
impossible to find things.
just black ink, and I was like, well, nothing's standing out. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hopefully
loads of stickies.
these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when I go back to my research, I can't find things. Oh, and this is what I wanted to show you before when with Leonie Dawson. Some of you might know of her. Create Your Shining Year.
Oh,
This
not
is
heard of that.
Business and Life Journal. So she has the journal that you can fill out. And this is where it's
Creative.
very colorful. So this is
Yeah.
where the permission to use color came from. But also, I wanted to show you that she also has because you said about not being sure about using a chart.
Yeah.
But she has a wall chart as well, so that you have
Oh,
things in front of you on a chart as well. So I think it's good. If Leonie says it's okay to have both, it's okay to have
okay.
both.
I'll stick with both.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think another thing I guess I took away from that was me and Hannah are now accountable buddies.
That is awesome. Yeah, because that was the other thing, the other big motivational tool that we set up in that meetup was accountability buddies, and people are pairing up to help cheer each other on and set up goals for each other. Have you guys set up a goal that you're holding each other accountable for?
um, we haven't implemented it at the moment because I think Hannah I think she's got some other things she's working on than me, but eventually we're going to do the chakra series together, not the short one on the memberships. I think because we've both worked through those recently,
Mm-hmm.
we were going to go through the Namaste
The namaste
yoga
one.
chakra,
Nice.
chakra, and then I think there's a few other chakra classes as well. So haven't spoken to Hannah yet, but we might I might sneak them in there as well.
And tell us how you're meeting up. Are you like Skyping? Are you FaceTiming? Are you
Been
messaging?
tempted to Skype, but after the meetup on Saturday, I felt well enough to call her, and I thought, oh, it'll only be a 5-10 minute phone call, and then like an hour later,
Yeah.
like right, okay, I'm really gonna go now. My head, I wasn't very good on Sunday. I overdid it on Saturday, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was worth it. So,
Yeah.
but I think in the future we'll probably Skype, and we've had a couple of emails going back and forth as
Yeah.
well. So,
So that's what we're encouraging you. You can Skype, you can FaceTime, you can Google Chat. Like there's loads of ways that you can connect. You can send messages right within the membership site. So there's lots of ways that you can connect, and it's great for you guys to have those meetups. And if you live close to each other, people are organizing offline meetups now too, which is great. So yeah, but because of technology, you guys can
yeah,
meet up
yeah,
with
because
Skype
there's
and
no way me and Hannah, health reasons, we just
yeah,
can't meet up. We're too far away from each other,
yeah.
and so yeah, so it's
And because of our global community, most people are too spread out too. So I think it's great. You two are setting a great example of how you can use technology to come together as well. So that's fantastic.
good.
Awesome. I'm so glad you spoke about that, and because that's a kind of a new development in our community, and it's really
Brilliant.
great.
It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's great seeing people come together and seeing new people getting support too, coming on board as well.
Yeah,
So
I like that too, yeah.
yeah,
And I feel like more people have spoken up as well recently, which is good.
yes,
Yeah.
it's really nice seeing that. So I love it. Um, so I don't want to keep you for too long. I would love you to speak just a little bit about where you live because our community is so global. So tell people a little bit about where you live, and then I'm going to let you go so you can
Uh,
rest.
Thanks. Well, I live in outside Hull in the northeast of England. Um, that's it.
And the really cool thing about that is Fiona lives really close to where Tim's family grew up and live, and I've visited there, and I've been to really close to
You
where
know
you live.
Hull.
I
Yeah.
know Hull. I know it well.
Like, I don't know if that's something to be happy about, but
I
yeah.
know. Oh, I'm very glad that we live here and not in Hull.
Oh no, yeah, I know. Just
Well,
me,
it's very pretty, actually.
there's some
There,
pretty
like
parts, yeah.
Yorkshire is
Did you
very
have
pretty.
invited to go to York? Yeah. Well, my dad's family was from York, so we used to go there all the time when we were kids. I love York, so yeah,
It's very pretty.
yeah. But I did all I could to get out of Hull, and I lived overseas. I've lived down south. I got ill, and then yeah,
And
I
then
had to
here
come
you are.
back.
Yeah.
I'll escape again one day, I'm sure.
The countryside's very beautiful there, though.
And the moors up well,
Yeah.
I know that's like an hour away, but up on the
The
North
moor's
Yorkshire moors,
gorgeous.
beautiful. I think that's my, pretty much one of my favourite spots in there. No matter how far I've travelled, I've always loved going back up there. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Incredibly beautiful. Well, thank you. I don't want to keep you any longer. What would you, do you have a question people you'd like people to ask you or anything, any comments you'd like to see?
Oh, do you know what I haven't talked about? And I can't believe I've not
Yes.
talked about this. I, I love energy healing. It's really helped me on my path to recovery. And so I love how I found through you the yoga and, you know, how it works with the meridians and everything. I love that. I've never looked at yoga like that before. I used to just go to a class years ago and come home more relaxed and that was it. I never looked at it in more depth than that. And so, I don't know, does anybody else out there love all this energy healing stuff? How do
Cool.
they, how do they connect it with their yoga practice? Or, you know,
Yeah, let's hear about that. Let's hear about the intersections between energy healing and yoga and meridians. We want to know how you connect all those things in your practice and for yoga teachers in your teaching. So leave those comments below when we'd love to hear from you for that. And thank you so much, Fiona, for being with us today. It was a delight to speak with you. You're just beaming now.
I'm so I this is such a huge thing for me to last like an hour talking, and I'll have to go rest, but like all day I was just like, well, please have the energy, please be
You
okay.
sure
And
did.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
were great. You spoke very well the whole time.
I won't remember any of it. So.
Okay, I took notes too.
Oh,
So I'm very much looking forward to posting this for a community and hearing about their response. And you touched on some really important things in our community. Like this is an important interview for people to hear too. So I really appreciate that.
all right,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Namaste. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
night.